Assalamualaikum students. So the paper that we'll be solving today is October November 2023, paper 1-1. Start with the very first question. First question says that work out 6 plus 4 divided by 2. In such questions, we need to take care that we should not get use board mass or the mass in this case. So remember it's plus 4 and that is being divided by 2. So that comes to 6 plus 2 is 8. Moving on, the next part, 40 into 0.3. Now there are many ways to do this. One way is 40 times 0.3 can be written as 3 over 10, and this will eventually be 12. 0 and 0 cancelled out, 4 threes are 12. Similarly, moving on to question number 2, and the question wants us to arrange all these numbers in the order of their size. Now it's our wish to convert all these numbers to the same standard so that we can compare and either convert all of them into fractions or all of them into percentages or all of them into decimals. I recommend converting every number into fraction with the same denominator. So let this be 1 over 5 करेंगे and 3 over 25 and this is 13 over 100 and this is 1 over. So it's better to convert all the denominators to 100 so that we can compare these numbers. 100 में करने के लिए first one you'll have to multiply by 20. This is 20 upon 100. With this one you'll have to multiply by 412 upon 100 and this is 13 upon 100 and this is 10 upon. So the smallest number out of these all four is 0.1. Then we have 3 over 25. Then we have 13%. And then we have 1 over 5. Remember, do not forget to write all the numbers in the original form, the form that they've provided you in the question with. And question number 3, part A. Now the question is asking us work out the temperature that is 20 degree higher than minus 12. So we'll have to take minus 12 and add 20 to it, and we'll end up getting 8. Similarly, in part B, the question wants us to find the difference between minus 4 and 10. How do we find the difference? Difference is always found by taking the higher value minus the lower value. What is the higher value? That is 10 minus the lower value is negative. So the answer is 40 degrees centigrade. That is the difference. Moving on to question number 4. Kasia buys 12 apples. Each apple costs 65 cents. Work out how much Kasia pays. Give your answer in dollars. The first thing that we can do is, because she buys a dozen apples, 12 should be multiplied by 65. We can do the rough working as well. 65 times 12 is 2 5s are 10, 0 and 1 carried on. 12 by 65, we get 78. But remember, this is cents. Why? Because we've taken the cost of one apple in cents. So when multiplied by the number of apples, the total cost will still be in cents. The question is asking us in dollars. 780 cents has to be divided by 100 because $1 is 100 cents. And the final answer will be $7.80. Moving on to the next question. Okay, now the question is saying Yasmin asks 20 people how many pets they own. Remember, the data in this question is now the number of pets. not the number of people. Number of people is just telling us that how many readings do we have. So we asked 20 people how many pets did each one of them own. Find the range. And the answer is represented as a bar graph. Range is highest value minus the first one. Remember, the data here is the number of pets. So what is the highest number of pets? 4. The lowest number of pets is 0. So the range is simply 4. The next one, they're asking us find the fraction of the 20 people who own 3 pets. So how many people own 3 pets? The question tells us 5. 5 out of 20, which is 1 over 4. Moving on to question number 6. The question is asking us to work out the value of x. The angles that is found between two parallel lines like x and 110, their sum is equal to 180. Why? Because they are called interior angles, and the sum of interior angles is 110. So the value of x is 70. Similarly, in the next part, the question wants us to work out the value of y. Y and 110 are called corresponding angles. So y is just 110. Moving on to question number 7. Now the question is asking us, by writing each number correct to one significant figures, estimate the value of. Remember, zeros at the beginning or at the end is not significant. Every other digit except 0 is significant. And when 0 is between any two other numbers or it's for a forceful rounding off, 0 becomes significant. So in this one, the question is asking us 553.75 is the first significant digit. We'll round it off. It becomes 50. 2.612 is the first digit. We have a 6 after that, so that becomes 3. 7, uske baad we have 0.4, so 7 remains 7. 50 upon 10, the answer is 5. The next part wants us to convert 78 millimeters to centimeters. Now a method that I often explain to students. You write millimeter in the denominator, centimeter in the numerator. 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. So you get 78 upon 10, which is 7.8 centimeters. Obviously, you could have directly divided by 10 as well. But if you are very aware of the basic conversion of units. Now, the next part is about 3 meters square to centimeters square. So we know that 1 meter is 100 centimeters. Now we can square both sides. 1 is 1 meter square is meter square. 100 ka square is 10,000 centimeters square. So that is the conversion between meter square and centimeter square. 3 meters square, meter square the denominator, centimeter square in the numerator. Follow the unit. 1 meter square is 10,000 centimeters square. So this becomes 30,000. But again, this is no new method, it's just a different way of writing the thing that you people already do. Okay, now the next part is about scatter diagram. The next question. Okay, so the question is asking us of 10 people and the time they each take to complete a task. So what type of correlation do we see on the diagram? This is called a positive correlation. We can also call it strong positive as well, but a positive correlation is enough for your syllabus. The next part is asking us, by drawing the line of best fit, estimate the time taken by a person aged 50 complete the tasks. First, we'll draw a line of best fit. A line of best fit is a straight line which is as close as possible to all the points, and the number of points above and below the lines should almost be the same. So again, this is one of the straight lines that we can get for this one. So the question is asking us about 50, right? So a person whose age is 50, how much time do they take? 0.16 minutes. Again, if you have a slightly different gradient line, your answer will be a bit different, but that will also be acceptable as long as you have drawn a sensible line of best fit. Now, question number 10 is about angle properties. 4 exterior angles of a pentagon are this. Calculate the size of the remaining exterior angles. The sum of exterior angles for any polygon is always 360 degrees. So either we know 4 of them, 150 plus 100 plus 45 plus 35, and let last one be x 360. So let's add them up. 250 plus 80, 300, 330. So x is 360 minus 330. X is 30, which is the fifth angle. Now calculate the size of the interior angle of a regular decagon. सवाल में obviously I've always told you people कि exterior angle approach ज़्यादा आसान होती है. How do I find the exterior angle? That is 360 upon n being the number of sides. The question is telling me decagon. So one exterior angle of a regular decagon is 36 degrees. Now interior angle plus exterior angle is 180, right? So I need to find the interior angle. I know the exterior is 36. So again, the value of x or the unknown in this one is 140 degrees. Again, there is another way, n minus 2 into 180 can divide by n, but I believe that is a longer way, or exterior angle approach is always easier for the students, and you must know this approach. Okay, now in this one, the question wants us to evaluate basic numbers. The question is 4 plus square is 16, cube root of 27 is 3. So the answer is just simply 19. In part B, it wants us to evaluate 5 to the power negative 1 into 5 to the power 3. We know the same bases are being multiplied, so their powers will be added up. 5 will get a power of 2, which is 25. Now, the next question is about scale diagram. We'll have to measure it. It's better if you have the actual thing in with you, and only then we'll be able to measure or the sides, measure the sides, and then use the scale diagram. So let's move on to 13. Work out one whole number 3 over 5. 5 ones are 5 plus 3 is 8 upon 5 divided by 3 ones are 3 plus 2 is 5 over 3. So this is 8 over 5 times when we reciprocate 3 over 5 plus 8 3s are 24 over 25 is what we will get. Now, a question about prime factors in LCM and HCF, which creates trouble for lots of students. I don't know why, because they're not well aware of prime factorization. So once you break 36 into its prime factors, 2, 36 2s are 18, and then again 2, 9, then 3, and then 3. That is how we break 36 into its prime factors. Okay, now the next one, bus A leaves the bus station every 36 minutes. For example, it leaves for 36 minutes, after 36 minutes, and then after 72 minutes, and then so on. Her 36 minutes, the multiples. The bus leaves in multiples of 36 minutes. Bus B leaves in 48 minutes. Every 48 minutes means 48 minutes per 96 and so on. So I'm looking for multiples of 48. So the two buses leave the station at 9:30. Find the next time when the two buses leave the bus station. So they'll be leaving in multiples of 36 and 48 respectively. I need to find their common multiple. इसलिए एक तरीका तो है दोनों को साथ करके भी हम we can find the LCM. Another way is to break 48 into its prime factors. 2 से करते हैं we get 24. 24 को फिर 2 से करते हैं we get 12. फिर 2 से करते हैं we are left with 6. फिर 2 से करते हैं and we are left with 3. So LCM कैसे निकालते हैं? First we write the common factors. 2 2 दोनों में common है और 1 3 दोनों में common है. Now let's complete the numbers. 36 complete करने के लिए we need another 3. 48 complete करने के लिए we need 2 2s. So that is our LCM. 2 2s are 4, 4 3s are 12, 12 3s are 36, 36 into 2, 72, 72 into 2 is 144. So 144 minutes is the LCM. That means that both the buses will leave together after every 144 minutes. So they leave together at 9:30. 9:30 when we can add 144 minutes, which amount to 2 hours, and 120 minutes is 2 hours, and we are left with 24 minutes. So when we add it, we get 11:54. So the next time that the two buses leave together is 11:54. I know एक सवाल में you're not be able to get this entire concept, but try to understand what is happening. So eventually we'll get there with lots and lots of practice of this topic. Okay, now this question is about angle properties of circle. B, C, and D are points in the circle with center O. A, B, and AC are tangents to the circle. Angle BAC is 38. Work out angle ABC. ABC is an isosceles triangle. Whatever this angle is, this angle will be the same. इसको हम X कह देते हैं. So I can say that 38 plus 2x is 180. So 2x is 180 minus 38. 30 get we are left 158 get 142. So the value of x is 71. Similarly, in the next part B, we need to find the angle BOC. The angle BOC कैसे आएगा बच्चे? Angle BOC. BOC and ये जो है ये दोनों supplementary angles होते हैं for this particular kite. So x plus 38, yeah, BOC plus 38 is 180. So BOC is 142 degrees. Part C is asking us angle BDC. BDC. Here we can directly use the tangent, and this chord is making an angle of 71. So this chord will make the angle of 71 at the circumference, which is called angle in alternate segment. We can do other ways as well. 142 को half भी कर सकते हैं. So BDC is also 71. Question is not asking for specific reasons. Those are not needed, but just letting you know as how to attempt. Okay, now this is a very interesting question. Another topic. Students assume that they find difficult because they are not well versed with the topic of inequalities. Now, it is telling us something. How do we read this? We read it. Some students read it, 1 is less than x, 3 is greater than x. No, whenever we are reading an inequality, we read with the we read with the perspective of the variable, the unknown. So I can say that x is in between 1 and 3. X is greater than equal to 1 and less than equal to 3. So x is in between 1 and 3. How do I find that on this graph? X यहाँ पे 1 है. And यहाँ पे x 3. So x is in between these two lines. Now what about y? Y is in between 2 and 3. So where is y2? Let's draw a line where y is 2. The line where y is 3. So y is in between 2 and 3. That means y will be somewhere in between these two green lines. So we eventually end up getting this rectangle. Now the next thing is y is greater than equal to x upon 2 plus 1. Here is where the students have a trouble with. First, draw the line of y is equals to x upon 2 plus 1. And how do you draw the line of y is equals to x? You need 2 points to draw a line. Y is equals to x upon 2 plus 1. You can, तो नजर आ रहा है y intercept 1 है, but फिर भी x की value, if you plug in x as 0, you get the value of y as 1. So one point is 0, 1. How do you get another point? Take any other value of x, plug it in the equation. X की value अगर मैं 6 डाल दूँ, so y is 6 upon 2 plus 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. So another point is 6, 4. Now have these 2 points 0, 1 and 6, 4. I can just draw them and join them as a straight line 0, 1 and 6, 4. So this is a line of y is equal to x upon 2 plus 1. Now the question is telling me यहाँ पे y equals to नहीं है, y is greater than or equal to. So what shape do I end up getting? This is the one. I'll just fill it out. This is the shape that we are talking about. So this is what we label as R. This is what we'll have as R. Fine. Okay, so moving on to the next question, which is question number 17. Y is directly proportional to the square root of x. Again, I have always told students not to force yourself just to get to the answer. Understand different ways of doing the same question and review your concepts whenever you can. Y is directly proportional to the square root of x. So the worst way that I see most students attempting it is this. Y is 2 when x is 16, 2 is k times 4, k is half, y is half square root of x, half square root of 25. 25 का square root is 5. 5 upon 2y is 2.5 या 2.5 दोनों से नहीं है. This is one way of doing it, and I see most of the students doing it this way. But once we know things are directly proportional, the ratio is always the same. So y1 upon square root of x1 will be equal to y2 upon square root of x2. So the first value of y, when y is y, x is root 25, and when y is 2, x is square root of 16. So y square root of 25 is 5, 2 over 4 into 5, y is half into 5, which is 2.5 or 2.5. So you can do it both ways. I urge students to use this method as well whenever appropriate, but when you need to develop formula, this method is more fruitful. But when you're only concerned with the pair of values, the pair of methods are the asan. Okay, now the next part is about a Venn diagram. Okay, so let's see the data that we have. They have told us 22 run. तो पहले तो common mistake students do is they write 22 right away. ऐसा नहीं करना है. Total run may be 2 fill in 22 people. Cycle में total 24 and then 14 in the total sailing. सबसे पहले the question is telling us that 3 cycle and sail but do not run. So 3 यहाँ आगे cycle and sail but do not run. And then it is telling us 9 run and cycle but do not sail. Run and cycle में 9 and do not sail. 5 run and sail but do not cycle. 5 यहाँ again, then 6 run only. So first I filled out all the blue ones. Then let's talk about the red ones. The question told me that 22 members run. So total running, I had to have 22 members. I already knew 6 plus 9 is 15 plus 5 is 20. So where are the remaining two? The remaining two are the ones which do all three activities. Similarly, total cycling had to be 24. So 9 plus 2 plus 3 is 14. And the remaining 8 are cycle only. Similarly, sail total members were 14 who used to sail. 5 plus 2 plus 3 is 10. 4 is sail only. And when I add all of them together, for me, for example, my cycle ka pura le lu, that is 24 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4. 24 plus 15 is 19, and 1 is a member who does neither of these activities. Part B for the set language and notation. Use set notation to describe the shaded subset in Venn diagram. Now, shades. Now, the portion shaded is a part of G, it is a part of H, and it is not a part of F. So I can say G intersection H intersection F not, and this can be written in any order, all these three. But intersection means that all the conditions must be satisfied. Now, moving on to question 19, which is regarding kinematics. The diagram shows speed time graph for part of a car journey. Calculate the acceleration of the car in the first 10 seconds of the journey. How do we calculate acceleration? Acceleration is the gradient. And how do we find gradient? We have 2.0, 0, and another is 10, 20. Acceleration is 20 minus 0 upon 10 minus 0. Acceleration is 2 meters per second square. The next part is asking car travels 700 meters in t seconds. The total distance traveled is 700 meters. From the speed time graph, the total area under the graph is the distance. How do I find the distance? Area of trapezium, which is half into height into sum of parallel sides. So area of trapezium is half into height into sum of parallel sides. So I already know the area, which is 700. Half the height is 20. One of the parallel sides is t, and the other is t minus 10. और से देख सकते हैं, I am considering the entire trapezium. This parallel side is t, and this one, this smaller one, is t minus 10. So that is how we have the parallel sides, and the height is 20. So simplifying this, 702 and 20 cancel out 10, and we are left with 2t minus 10. ये वाला 10 वहाँ यहाँ multiply, it goes on the other side. 700 upon 10 is 2t minus 10. We get 70, 10 यहाँ के add हो गया is 2t. 80 is 2t, and the value of t is 40. The next question is regarding matrices. How do we find the inverse of A? The inverse of A is found as 1 over determinant of A into adjoint of A. One over determinant is found AD minus BC. मैं अलग से लिख लेता हूँ determinant of A. AD is minus 2 multiplied by 3 minus BC. 1 multiplied by 4 minus 6 minus 4 is minus 10. So the inverse of A is 1 over minus 10, and the adjoint of A, 3 and minus 2 will change their positions, and 1 and 4 will change their signs. So this is the inverse of A. Similarly, now the next part wants us to find AB, the product of the two matrices. A will multiply by B. Be very careful with this. I have minus 2, 1, 4, and 3. And in the next one, I have 3, 2, minus 1, and 1. How do the matrices multiply? The first row multiplies with the first column. So minus 2 will multiply by 3, plus 1 will multiply by minus 1. In the first row multiplies, but the second column, minus 2 will multiply by 2, plus 1 will multiply by 1. In the second row with the first column, 4 will multiply by 3, plus 3 will multiply by negative 1. 4 will multiply by 2, plus 3 will multiply by 1. And what are we left with? Once we simplify, the first is minus 6 minus 1 is minus 7. And then we have minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3. 12 minus 3 is 9. 8 plus 3 is 11. So this is how we multiply matrices. Now question 21 is about algebra. Wants us to factorize. Two terms में तो factorization का दो ही तरीके होते हैं, तो difference of square or something that we can take common. इसमें common ले सकते हैं 3, and I am left with 2a minus 3. That's it. This is all we can do in this part. Now in the next one, it wants us to factorize this. Now this is the difference of square, 4b square, which is a square of 2b, and this is a square of 5. So I get 2b minus 5 and 2b plus 5. Some of you call it the third entity. Some of you call it the difference of square. Now part C is simplify. We cannot cancel between the numerator and the denominator right now because there is a subtraction in between. Beach addition, subtraction, or we cannot cancel anything in between the numerator and the denominator. ऊपर से तो 2c कॉमन, c -4। नीचे हम मिडिल टर्म ब्रेक करेंगे, -8c + 3c -12। ओके, डिनोमिनेटर में व्हाट कैन वी टेक कॉमन? 2c common, c -4 + 3 common, c -4. And the numerator has 2cc -4. The denominator will have c -4 and 2c + 3. Now we can cancel c -4 and c -4, and we are left 2c upon 2c + 3. Cannot cancel these 2c as 2c because यहाँ बीच में plus हो रहा है. Such cancellations are wrong. Please be very careful when doing this. Now the next part is regarding function notations. The question is asking us f of -8. Simply जहाँ जहाँ x है वहाँ -8 डाल देना है. -8/4 + 3, f of -8 -2 + 3, which is simply 1. And similarly, inverse कैसे निकालते हैं? You can watch my video on function notation as well to understand this. Y is x/4 + 3. Y -3 is x/4. 4 bracket y -3 is x. So x is 4y -12, or the inverse function is 4x -12. Moving on to the C part. Now the question is telling us that fp is equals to g of p + 5. The function में जहाँ x है वहाँ we plug in p. So that becomes p/4 + 3. G में जहाँ x है वहाँ we plug in p + 5. So what do we get? p/4. फिर LCM ले लेते हैं. So p + 12 is 2, और ये p + 4 हो गया. So we get p + 12 is 4 2s are 8 into p + 4. P + 12 is 8p + 32. Okay, so -32 + 12 is 8p - p. P is -20/7. That is what I'm getting again. Now the last two questions. Vector again, which looks problematic to some of the students, while some of you are very good at it. A से C जाना है मुझे. Simply what do I do? I say that I go from A to O, and then O से C. AO is -A, then +C. That is simply AC, or I can write it as C -A भी लिख सकते हैं. It's the same thing. Now the question is asking the position vector of x. Position vector का मतलब है O से लेके, a vector from the origin. So I want OX. This is what the question is asking. Where is x? X is the midpoint of AC. AC के बिल्कुल बीच में है. So I can say that for OX, I can go from OA plus AX. OX is OA is A, and AX is half of AC. And I already know AC is C minus A. And once I simplify OX, I get A plus half C minus half A. So A को simplify कर देते हैं. A में से if I remove half A, I'm left with half A. So this is simply half A plus half C. A और minus half A को simplify किया है. You can do it on your own as well. By the end of the paper, your brain must be working enough to help you understand this one. Now this part is asking about x, y, x. From y I need to go to x. Where is y? Y is the point on AB such that AY is 2. अगर AY 2 है तो YB 1 है. So I can say AY is 2/3 of AB. AY is 2/3 of AB. I need to go from Y to X. Right? So for that, I can take any method or any way that I want to. Whilst X जाना है, I can say that it can be YA plus AX. AX already अभी हमने निकाला था, that is half C minus half A. So I'll be using that for AX. उसका तो मुझे पता है. So AX की जगह तो I can plug in simply this. And YA मुझे पता है 2/3 है of the total. But when I'm going from Y to A, Y is somewhere on AB. When I'm going from Y to A, this is the direction, so that has to be negative C. Negative 2/3 of C. So that will be negative 2/3 of C, or I can say 2/3 of negative C. दोनों एक ही बात है. इसमें first you must take out the LCM. C का LCM लेंगे. And we'll be left with 6 LCM आ जाएगा. तो 2 से करेंगे 4 plus 3 तो 1 हो जाएगा. Minus 1/6 C minus half A. If you're unable to understand this question, you must refer to my 2 videos on vectors. Try to understand vectors rather than just jumping on ways of solving vectors. You must understand it first. Okay, now in this one, we need to solve. Solve means finding the value of the unknown. इसमें पहले LCM लेंगे हम x plus 1, x minus 1. 3x will multiply by x minus 1. Minus 2 will multiply by x plus 1. And the entire thing will be equal to 3. So the denominator becomes x square minus 1. A plus b, a minus b, you can expand it individually as well. X को दोनों से करो multiply, फिर 1 को दोनों से. 3x square minus 3x minus 2x minus 2. And the entire thing is equals to 3. So 3x square minus 5x minus 2 is 3 bracket x square minus 1. 3x square minus 5x minus 2 is 3x square minus 3. 3x square इधर आएगा तो कैंसिल हो जाएगा. Minus 5x is minus 3 plus 2. Minus 5x is minus 1. X is minus 1 upon minus 5. So x is 1 over 5. So I hope this is clear to everyone. If you have any issues, feel free to reach out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel. And if you have any queries or questions, please, you can always Reach me out on my different social media accounts. Thank you so much. Best of luck for your exams. Allah Hafiz.